Hello, everybody. We are live with another episode of our beloved franchise slash podcast series known as Essence of Zen After Dark. I'm your host, Zane Zenokami Blaylock, with our co-host, the lovable, the terrible, the horrifyingly iron fist mongering over all that he has his domain controlled by, the Dark Lord of the Sith and all thing IT, that Mexican who love waffles with a K, Louis Sandoval. with with a heart of gold. uh eh. You're terrible to your enemies. You'll leave it at that. Oh man, we have a lot to talk about today. A lot. Can't get we can't forget about like Samsung, good old Comcast and just so many freaking things. But do you want to know what is the best topic in my opinion for today, Lewis? It's the fact that we have a growing fan base, a growing audience, broke past 510 subs last night, which basically means our Patreon is probably going to be set up soon because I made a deal with a few of our followers to say that if you get past 500 subs, we will start a Patreon. Now the hard part about that is deciding what benefits do we give said Patreons. Okay, let's try to have something that we can keep the promise with. That is very true. Also, hello, Adam Jarrett in the chat. We will have a party indeed. Well, actually, yeah, because we're gonna be getting ready to do a giveaway. I'm going to announce the giveaway on Sunday. It's gonna be a basic, simple Gleam giveaway that features Mafia 3 for PC. So yeah, be ready for it. What have you been up to, Lewis? Yeah. Wait, hold on, Lewis. I think you're not coming in on the thing. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Say something.
Something.
Okay, it's coming in now. I do apologize for that.
Were you just talking to yourself for like the
I
first
think
3 minutes?
I think so because Windows forcefully again like fucking Microsoft. They forcefully did a massive update on my computer when I was not home, and then like all of my settings got set back to default.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna have to go back and see what it's like to hear talk to yourself for like the first 8 minutes of a podcast.
Actually, in fact, I want to peep in real quick and make sure that your audio is coming through. Like fucking Microsoft.
Actually, no,
They
just leave it there.
Kind of
wanna hear the one-sided, one-sided podcast
all
today.
All my settings got set back to default.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think you should be live now.
Going through?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry for
Not just talking to yourself.
Yeah, people are gonna hear like the double layer. I'm so sorry. I'll try to edit it in post.
Fix it in post.
Our model here at EoZ. But what have you been up to, Lewis?
Oh, just cowering about the current state of the internet, but there's some hope. There's some light at the end of the tunnel, and it doesn't look like it's a train, so that's good. We'll talk about that later today. What about you, Zane?
Oh man, dude. So aside from battling one of my hardest professors with programming language concept, which is basically the entire foundation upon how programming languages are constructed and utilized and operates. So yeah, I just had my first exam for that class, and I think I did somewhere between a 70 or an 80. So yeah,
Not bad. Not bad.
we'll see when I get the test back.
Not bad. I like that.
But You have written here something about Scarlet coming soon, maybe?
Coming soon, yeah. Just need to come up with a basic implementation, so we could have some viewers update some actual videos and submit them to us. So you could edit them and maybe make them contributors to the EoZs. Yep. I think I got a good idea. I could share it to you after the podcast. We could go over the technical details later of the implementation. But yeah,
I'm
think
down
I got an
with that.
idea. Yeah, probably get it done by the end of the year.
Dude, like at this point, no rush. We have a lot of stuff we got. I still got to create get the
Themes.
the themes.
Well, one of us needs to do a theme. Yeah.
There's also getting our license for the Google Play Store still.
Oh yeah, I forget. Yeah, wow, you do have a lot to do.
Yeah, college man.
Are you ever near the SSL thing again? Because that's almost expiring. Yeah, so you gotta do that after the show.
Yeah, but you know what? We don't have nearly as much to do that Samsung has to do.
Oh yeah, Samsung has some catching up to do.
They
Give us an
cannot
intro,
catch a
Zane.
break, man. So like, everyone already knows Samsung has like their phones have been exploding in pockets, in microwaves. I mean, I didn't put my phone in the microwave. In vehicles, just pretty much everywhere. And they did that entire total recall, and yes, that's a pun. It's a joke. It's a bad one. I know. For their phones, and apparently it's still not enough, Lewis. It's still not enough.
Oh man, poor Samsung.
When your replacement phones are also smoking and exploding.
Yeah, they were. What was it? I think they were being banned from flights, or at least they were telling you to turn it off.
Yeah.
But what is it, like on Wednesday? There's a Galaxy Note 7 that was beginning to smoke on a Southwest Airlines flight. And basically the FAA and the Consumer Product Safety Commission are looking into it to see if this Galaxy Note 7 was one of the replacement phones that was issued out. Because if it is, then I think that's the final nail in the coffin for the Galaxy Note 7. And basically Samsung's going to have some like trust issues with its users.
Indeed, man. And again, I feel really bad, not just because like of Sammy, but because it's ooh, excuse me, I burped. Oh, there goes another one. Oh.
You're gonna be all right.
I don't know. Call it doc. No, I'm okay. But no, it's partly due to the fact that the manufacturers of the batteries was the problem. Where Samsung comes to fault is that they didn't do proper quality checking. And that's where I give them full blame for not checking their devices. However, the explosions should be really directed towards the battery manufacturers and their problem with not being able to nip this issue in the bud. But I mean, tomatoes, tomatoes, potato, potato.
My girlfriend was actually telling me today how she met someone who's actually got one of the original Galaxy Note 7s. They haven't gone in to actually get a replacement one. But they basically said that they don't really feel like swapping it in.
What?
Because then, they have to resync their phone and, get all their data back on there.
Mamma jamma if you don't jam.
So all I told Tatiana was like, well, I hope that when I'm driving down the highway and their car, catches on fire, I'm not there driving with them. Because these are the people that are just like contributing to this issue. Like, get it swapped out.
Only in America, man.
Like, because they don't want to sync their contacts or get their data back on it again. They don't want to go through the trouble. What a lame excuse. Like, you'd rather catch fire by putting it in your pocket or in your purse, third-degree burns, possibly death. Just because you don't want to resync the data.
This is literally the epitome of first world problems, Lewis.
So I mean those are the people contributing to the cause. Yay.
Oh my goodness. And it's not even if you use the Google platform, you can actually, create a casting image of your apps that are installed, your contacts, phone numbers, images. You can use the Google Photos for that cloud storage that'll pull them back down when you swap phones. It's not even that cumbersome of a task.
I will admit it's not as good as Apple's syncing,
Yeah.
where it basically backs up your app data as well. Like I don't know if it does cache, but it does a little bit extra, so you have less to set up when you do it back. But still, like the tools are there. The tools are there.
I don't know
You
what
don't
to
even.
say. I can't even like.
Yep. Those are the people that are going to college today.
I'd rather have my phone blow up rather than to get a free, more safer option of turning. I'm sorry. Oh.
Yep.
Look, so I think it's important to have a PSA. If you are a Galaxy Note 7 user and you have not yet turned your phone in for the free replacement, please do so, man. I mean, odds are it's not gonna blow up. Odds are likely, yeah, but you'd rather be safe than sorry. Don't put it in a VR machine and have it explode in your eyes like it happened to somebody.
Ooh. For your safety and the safety of those around you, please go return it.
Sorry about
Speaking
the volume,
of
Adam.
phones.
Oh yeah, so what are your thoughts on the Google Pixel, man?
The Google Pixel. Well, the first photo I saw of the Google Pixel, it just looked like they were trying to do too much with the edges. Like it's like shiny, and then it's like semi around it, and then it isn't. And I don't know. The edges don't really do it for me. But then I've seen like more photos of it, and my eyes are kind of getting used to it. The one thing I will say that I do like is the half glass, half like a metal backing that they have. Like right, see, like when you're sliding your finger up to that little round touch sensor, you kind of feel when you're almost there because you're crossing that material difference. So that's what I like the most about the phone, aesthetically wise.
I'm kind of right there with you. When they first showed off the phone in white, I couldn't stand it. I cannot stand that look. But then I saw the black version of it and the blue version. And it looks so much sleeker. I guess because the white version, or the quite white, as they say it, the quite white and the quite black, I think is their proper titles for it. The white makes it look like plastic. It does not look like a premium material. And I don't know, that bothers me when you have a phone that's like $800.
Yeah, you don't want to have that plasticky cheap feel to it.
Yeah. And I also gotta make a statement. It's not just necessarily plastic. I don't mind. I kind of prefer plastic sometimes. Like my Note 3 is a plastic phone, but when you hold it and you feel it, it doesn't really feel like plastic. The back is like a faux leather that's made from plastic, but it's texturized. So you can have plastic that feels premium, but the look and design of this phone, it just had me kind of going, what?
I missed the curved little screen thing they did with the, which one was it? The 4? The Nexus 4? Remember when they did that?
No.
It was like one of the earlier ones.
The curved screen?
Yeah, where they did the whole. Well, made the screen. No, it was slightly curved. Slightly.
Oh, you mean the Nexus the Nexus 5 that had that little round that kind of made it. Yes.
Yeah. To improve what is it? Viewing angles a bit.
Yeah. But no, like a lot of people also state that this phone looks like almost identical to an iPhone, and I do see resemblance, but I have to say I see more of a mixture between HTC and LG, more than just the iPhone. Now I do see hints of the iPhone, but I see more so LG and HTC, and where I think they got this design mechanic from is literally by looking at their previous Nexus phones and going, let's just mix in all the best forms and ideas from them.
Hmm. That little what is it in the middle? It's not a camera bit. That little horizontal, smoothed, rounded out rectangle reminds me of the iPhone a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Little thing that they got right there. That's what I say makes it. Oh, you know what it is? You know what it is that reminds me of the iPhone? The
What?
little, especially in the white one, it's more pronounced. How when you see it from the front, like the edges, they're kind of like uh chrome lined kind of thing. What Apple did with
Yeah.
their that's what's making me think iPhone. But then from the back, it's a completely different phone
You see,
to me at least.
that's exactly it. Like I still think like the front half takes away a lot from the HTC 10, which a lot of people also seemingly say that the HTC 10 and the A9 took design aspects from Apple. Again, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole about who did what first, but
You know what I need to do? I need to open up Photoshop and just like get that little like home button from the iPhone and just like superimpose it on top of it and see how similar or like how much it looks like an iPhone at that point.
see,
Like, oh, you know what I could do? I could get the little what is it? The rounded touch button or touch pad at the back and then just move that over. Because
yeah.
I think that just the positioning of what looks like a microphone, or that might be a sensor in the front facing camera. The positioning of that reminds me of iPhone.
Yeah. It, it, I think that's kind of one of the cues for it because that big chin, that big bottom, that big frontal bulge that the
Oh
phone
yeah.
has, and it's not needed. There's no reason because there's no dual front facing boom speakers, so there's no need to have a chin that big.
You're talking about the like little bottom white, like or like the extra screen edge basically that it
Yeah.
has at the bottom.
Like, go ahead
Yeah.
and stretch the screen out. Go ahead and give us that extra length. Why do you have a chin? Why?
Why do you have a chin?
There's no button there. There's no capacitive sensors there. There's no fingerprint scanner there. And again, there's no dual front-facing speakers, which I think would have been fantastic if they put that there.
That would have been really cool. What HTC does.
Hello, exactly. Sorry. I think the phone is fantastic. I think it's going to be a good launching point for Google for the future. But at the same time, those things that are missing really irk the crap out of me.
On the bright side, if you drop it, the chin will protect it. The extra cleft.
Oh, we also have Homeworld Arts in the chat that he states, I quote, "I love my 6P," and good point to the whole chin thing. I don't know. It's and another point. I highly recommend you guys go to blog.essenceofzen.org and read my post about the design for the Google Pixel. The thing that I think reminds me of Apple the most is not really the hardware, the physical look about it. It's actually the software. Have you seen the new Pixel launcher?
Pixel launcher?
Yeah.
I don't think I have. I've seen a few things about Nougat, but not the whole kit and caboodle.
So you know the whole the app drawer.
Mm-hmm.
It's no
Little thing
longer
at the bottom.
yeah. It's no longer like a simple button that you press and it opens the app drawer. It's now kind of like the entirety of the bottom row section of your main apps. You hold that and you slide it up like the command center from iOS.
Weird.
Yeah.
I have to look at a video because that just sounds kind of like, more things to press to do the same thing.
Exactly. But I don't know. That's just me kind of ranting on the Pixel. Again, I think it's a great phone. I think it's gonna do great. But I don't know. I think they kind of ostracize a lot of the aspects that people of like their user base wanted most. Specifically, the dual front-facing boom speakers. Ugh.
Yeah, Apple like really went all out with their audio this time around. They went with the most popular one that people know about is they ditched the headphone jack. They did the whole front-facing stereo, dual. Well, I guess that's implied with stereo speakers. They also added the whole. I'm blanking out right now. Oh, the AirPods. The
Yeah.
earbuds. I think it's AirPods. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they added a lot of audio enhancements
But see,
to their recent release.
I've seen. Hold on. Also, Homeworld Arts also states the 6P has the front-facing speakers, and still doesn't have such a big chin, and they kick too. Uh, right on. But speaking on the idea about Apple and their iPhone 7 and 7 Plus with their speaker integration is I know they ditched the headphone jacks to use Lightning. That's supposed to have like more power, so you get a stronger drive for deeper sounds. But a few YouTubers who are very tech savvy made a note saying, "Yeah, Lightning doesn't really do that. It really is much more the fact of the DAC that's inside the phone. You can increase or improve the DAC of a phone and still have 3.5mm headphone jacks and still output fantastic quality compared to that of the Lightning port. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's more reason why I'm thinking, why did they ditch the headphone jack then? Because I mean, hey,
For those who don't know, the deck is that little chip that basically interprets the sound. Correct.
yes. Yeah, it stands for, I do believe, digital to analog converter. Which is, if you know anything about like waves and signals, digital is basically a 0 or a 1. Analog is a wide range of values, basically from 0 to 255. So when you convert digital to analog, you have a wider gambit of levels, depth, and precision that you can like focus audio through, which gives you that much vibrant or a better, much more vibrant sound to the tone of the actual sound. So yeah.
It reminds me of what is it in cameras? They have what's called like a CMOS chip. Like the better the CMOS chip, the better the image quality. So I mean, they could have invested more money into that, but I mean, you only have so much real estate in the phone as well.
No.
For other things.
See, Lewis, we're gonna have the best future phone. You know why?
Why is it?
Because we're not gonna use a CMOS chip for our cameras. We're gonna use, and I quote. You guys can quote me for saying this right now. October 10th. It's 10th, right? No, I'm sorry. October 7th, 2016. We're gonna put Sauron's eye from Lord of the Rings into our cameras. You're gonna have the clearest cameras on the market. Like, I mean, just seeing across the entirety of Mordor. You're gonna be able to see the hobbits with the ring. Okay?
You have to see to believe. That'll be our slogan.
Oh, I do gotta ask you though. If the Pixel line is gonna replace the Nexus, do you think we're gonna get rid of Nexus phones in the lineup altogether?
If the Pixel phone is going to replace the Nexus?
Yeah, supposedly. That's the rumor.
See, I thought Pixel was a replacement for Nexus. I didn't think there was going to be anything else in the Nexus line. I thought it was the rebranding of the Nexus line. This is how I saw it.
See,
so, no, I don't think the Nexus line is going to continue.
See, and I agree with you, and I'm kind of saddened about that, because if I was hired by Google, Google, if you need to hire me, go ahead and hire me. I would keep the Nexus lineup as well, because a lot of people remember that when the Nexus line first started, it was all about budget friendly with good specs, like great, good enough to get you through the day without having to be like, oh my god, this is slow. As it progressed, those good phones that were budget friendly became kind of premium. And while it's cool to have a premium Google phone, I think a lot of people would still value and cherish a Nexus phone that is like $300 or less, that brings you good, decent specs that can still carry you through the day for the next 2 years. So if I was in Google's shoes, I would let Pixel be the premium line and continue with a Nexus line while bringing Nexus back to its roots of being the budget-friendly Google vanilla phones.
Kind of like how what is it? The Motorola G series to the Motorola X series kind of thing.
Exactly. But hey, I mean, that's just me. I'm not a marketer. I'm not. I haven't been in the biz, as the Goog may puts it. But
The
hey,
Goog.
I love calling them the Goog, man. I really do. But moving on from hardware, let's move towards a more software side of things and kind of a controversial aspect. So you had sent me news a while ago about the whole United Nations thing in terms of the internet.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, what happened the first of this month? So
Mm-hmm.
basically, last Saturday,
My
I kind of
birthday.
found out too late about this. Um, let me start off by saying that since the dawn of the internet, the World Wide Web has been controlled by the U.S. government's Commerce Department, quoted from ibtimes.com. Uh, Basically, that means the DNS tables
Mm-hmm.
were being controlled by the U.S. government. So basically, the DNS had the protections of the amendments, basically freedom of speech, etc., etc. What happened on the first was that power was transferred over to ICANN to basically hold the DNS tables. A better way to put it was the Internet Address Book. So ICANN, that organization, which is in California, it's a nonprofit, now has control of the Internet Address Book. Now, it does seem like too big of a big deal because ICANN's a nonprofit, so they really shouldn't mess it up, right? Well, the concern comes when you realize that the ICANN is actually made up of world governments who basically don't have the same respect for things they don't like, such as we do. So basically, the Internet Address Book is now also in the hands of more oppressive governments like Russia and China that have been known to impose heavier restrictions on their users, like we brought up in a previous podcast. Russia ended up blocking porn sites. China's obviously got the Great Firewall of China, which basically blocks Google and other services. So the concern is that basically now that other governments have control of this, and not just the U.S., which it thrived under, look at how far it's taken us, that the internet will basically start to crumble and fall apart. So that was getting me concerned on Saturday
I mean,
and bumming me out.
to put it in layman's terms, if you got confused by all of that, it basically boils down to the fact that the internet is now in the hands of the Legion of Doom.
The Legion of Doom.
I mean, literally. I mean, that's kind of it, guys. I mean, let's be real here. That's kind of the deal here. So what kind of things have came or no risen up from the ashes of the mistakes of our U.S. government? My God, man, how could they let this happen? Anyway, I don't want to get too political, but things have come to rise. Like, we still have Tor, which is now also in jeopardy for other reasons. But I mean, but now we have this new thing that is known as ZeroNet.
ZeroNet.
So tell me about it.
So ZeroNet. ZeroNet is basically kind of like Tor. Or I guess not Tor. I would say kind of like onion sites. So basically, the way ZeroNet happens is it kind of works like torrenting does. So when you visit a site on the ZeroNet network, you basically end up downloading the website and you end up storing it. So basically, the next person who visits the site and downloads it, they basically download it from you and the other people who have basically downloaded the website. And the cool thing is, there's no central point of failure since the website is on your computer and Jamie's computer and Tyler's computer and Juana and Gilbert's computer.
And Obama's.
Obama's computer. It's kind of hard to take down the website at that point because it's distributed. It's kind of that whole of like, hey, once you post something on the internet, it can't go down kind of thing because now everyone has it. Well, this is what ZeroNet is doing, but on a whole internet-wide level, which is pretty awesome. ZeroNet is not a new idea, actually. It's actually taken from an older network called Freenet, which has existed since the 2000s. But what
Wow.
ZeroNet did was like modernize it more, and what is it? Make it a little bit easier and more anonymous, or I guess I shouldn't say anonymous, easier to distribute and use because the UI is more modern than Freenet's. Freenet's is a little dated. Looks like the Internet 1.0 kind of website. But both great projects, different purposes, of course.
Indeed.
So I highly recommend trying out ZeroNet at zeronet.io, and given that the world, be aware that since there's less restrictions, there might be some iffy content, but on the bright side, it's a thriving community. You can just instantly make your own website. It's a really neat project. Highly recommend people try it out. It's a step in the right direction to make censorship more impossible.
It is, and I want to clarify a few things. As always, every week I have to make, anytime we talk about torrenting, I got to make this clear. If you're new, torrenting is not illegal. Torrenting is basically peer-to-peer, meaning I share with others and others share with me, and we download things together and make it easier for other people to obtain content. Now, you are able to torrent illegal content, which is, logically and morally bad. But it does not make torrenting bad. That makes how you use it bad. So, for anyone who thinks like the idea of peer-to-peer privacy, private networks, and everything is going to infringe on our right or our capabilities of keeping our country safe, of hunting down really horrible people who post or are involved in some really bad activities, it's not. Just like the internet can be used for really bad things, so can literally any object, idea, notion, theory, concept of mind, and reality of existence. Okay, so no, taking away our privacy on the internet is not going to solve issues the same way as stopping someone from having a license isn't going to stop them from being able to drive a car. It's illegal to drive a car without your license, which they can be fined for and arrested for. And that's how we have those laws in place. But there is no 100% way to legally stop someone from breaking the law without basically infringing on their basic human rights, which we are not savages, people. We're not. I refuse to be a savage. So, yeah.
Good way to put it, Zane. Good way to put it.
Welcome to...
Remember. Oh, go ahead.
Remember to always do your homework for philosophy and morality of Coding Ethics 101. Professor Blaylock demands it. That's all.
I was just going to say, remember, like, the more people who use ZeroNet, the harder it is to take the entire network down, and the more the community can go around it, and, freedom.
Exactly. Do you remember MeshNet? Whatever happened to that?
MeshNet?
Yeah.
That's still a thing. That is still definitely a thing. MeshNet is basically just people creating their own networks, like basically making their own connections, avoiding the internet. ZeroNet basically works with any network. So basically, you can technically run ZeroNet on a MeshNet and basically have like your own private internet thing where you just share like ZeroNet files and whatnot. It's like a more modernized sneakernet is what you turn it if you combine both of them together.
We need to create a joint operation to get these two working hand in hand. I mean, seriously, oh God, we need to.
I'll need to show you after the podcast, but I was browsing ZeroNet on their caffeine search engine. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. They use like the same colors as Google. But I was on ZeroNet and I found this pretty interesting website which tries to be an alternative Google. And basically the way it works is like it plays movies and videos in the browser through peer-to-peer, like in real time. I'll show you later. It's really neat how far they take this technology.
That's literally like a drive-in theater, but for the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's cool as hell.
And the files are saved locally, so if your internet connection ever dies out, you can still browse the pages.
You know what?
They're literally on your computer.
this makes so much sense for everyone to jump on board, support, and push forward. Because if you use Comcast, you may now have a 1 terabyte home internet data cap.
Let's talk about that.
Nail the
What does Comcast
segue.
do?
Comcast was fucking Comcast. That's what they did. You know, they exist as Comcast.
They exist, so they're evil.
Exactly. So they have these things like they state that, oh, we offer an unlimited home internet option for $50 extra per month. But like every other either internet service provider or mobile carrier, these quote unquote unlimited internet access or streaming things basically still have a data cap. They'll either bottleneck your connection or just say unlimited applies only to a certain amount, which basically means it's not unlimited, which means they're kind of doing marketing fraud. And I don't see why they don't get pursued for their fraud. Oh, because they have a ton of money. That's right. Okay, that's why.
Speaking of marketing fraud, I think unlimited is one of the most fraudulent advertising schemes ever. Because unlimited doesn't really mean unlimited, no matter what company is saying it. It usually just means as much as we think you need to use per month or per, time interval that they choose. Like, yeah, it's unlimited, but we don't like what you're doing online, so we're just going to cap you off right there if you don't, just shut you up.
And dude, like my biggest issue with ISPs and data providers and all those other things is, look, I understand that if you're probably doing some experiments with your infrastructure, your network, you probably cannot handle a constant stream of just massive data usage. I get that. But don't sit here and spoon feed me things like unlimited for everybody when you don't actually mean that. And then don't toss back poor customer service. Don't toss back fraudulent claims. Don't toss back really con artist behavior of plans under this guise of you having to do what's best for your company. No. If that's the case, stop trying to stop smaller ISPs from doing startups. Let other people show you how it's done, or stop your bitching. I mean, that's just how it is. I can't stand Comcast, Lewis. I can't stand them.
Shady company is shady.
Oh. It's the same with Time Warner, man. Like, I love me some Warner Brothers because they're partnered with DC. I love Animaniacs. I love their animations. But god damn it, they're fucked up in terms of their Time Warner internet plans and all this. Oh my.
Over here on our side, we got either CenturyLink or Cox. CenturyLink is like everywhere and anywhere, but their service just sucks so bad. Customer service is non-existent. The internet is almost non-existent. Your promised speeds are a dream, basically. Cox, on the other hand, they'll give you everything that they say for, but you just have to give up your first child. I'm kidding you. Yep, choose your poison.
If you're watching the stream right now, I'm showing an image of the South Park customer service for their cable providers with the whole nipple thing.
I think that's my favorite episode. That probably my favorite episode next to the whole like Game of Thrones series that they had.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh man. South Park does look good.
It really. Have you been watching their new season?
I have not. I need to catch up on that.
You do. Dude, they capture the purest sense of the last 2 years, mainly with the presidential elections, and everyone's like PC correctness things. It's freaking fantastic. I love South Park. They are geniuses, man. They really are. Matt and Trey, I love you guys. Let me be a character on your show.
You know what I did see though? I did see like an image on the internet with
Member berries.
What?
Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Oh no, the image I saw on the internet was like a picture of Cartman with a shirt on that said "Tokens Life Matters."
Yes.
You crack up.
Yes.
I get to see the episode, but I'm excited.
Oh god, it is. Oh god, it is so crazy. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. speaking on the topic of political correctness and all the things that's going on in society, we're gonna talk about a few things dealing with Tim Burton after the break, because that Mamba Jamma did some stuff or said
Mamma
some
Jamma.
stuff. So we're gonna be back after a few ads, just 2 or 3, and we'll see you soon.
Are we good? Are we good? You on break? Oh. Shh, they hear us.
If you're like me, you enjoy losing a bunch of time searching Amazon for various gadgets and gizmos and trinkets and bobs and bits. Well, wouldn't you enjoy an extra $5 towards your Amazon account? Or if you have a mobile phone, either Android or iPhone, you can use our link to log into the Amazon app for the first time and get an extra $5. If you want to support Essence of Zen, I highly recommend you do this. It doesn't hurt. All you have to do is click the link and follow the 2 instructions. If you are eligible for the extra $5, it will be added to your Amazon credits. So give it a shot. You're helping us out and you're also getting an extra $5 in your pockets. In the meantime, feel free to support Essence of Zen by using our link to start a 30-day trial for Kindle Unlimited. That's free access to over 10,000 books and audiobooks for 30 days. Unlimited reading, unlimited listening, any device. When nearing the end of the trial, if you don't want to continue it, be sure to cancel the service renewal via amazon.com/mycd. Thank you.
We've only just begun.
Hey, you lovely listeners out there. Zonokami from Essence of Zen here. Just want to say a big thank you for our community, for supporting us, for growing the channel, growing the network, the website, the visits, and just overall the support that you all give us. We are still looking to expand. We are still looking for members to join the community, to join with content production. So if you're interested, just give us a shout out. You can go ahead and contact me at zaneblaylock@essenceofzen.org. Again, a big thank you. We don't know how else to express our love. We hope to be able to give back to our community as we continue to grow. Again, thank you. And we're back, everybody. I just came back from the surface of the sun. And boy, is it hot up there.
Oh, Zane, you amateur. You're supposed to go when the sun's down. Everybody knows that. Don't die now.
I was not expecting that response. So before we get on the whole topic about Tim Burton and his personal views, I just want to say Mafia 3 is out. It came out today. I actually do own the game, and I've played about the first hour of it. It is so far really interesting. It's already pulled me in via the story. I've had fun playing it. I love the keyboard and mouse setup for games, but I'm probably going to move to the Steam controller with this game only because of the driving aspect. I just hope aiming with the Steam controller will be okay. We'll see. But yeah, we will announce a giveaway for Mafia 3. It'll start Sunday and will go on till that following Sunday, and the winner will be announced in our Path of Exile stream over on beam.io, I think. No, is it? Oh,
I think it's beam.io. Beam.something. Just Google beam.something. You'll find it out. Beam.io. Oh, no, wait. Beam.io's. Whoa.
Hold on. Beam.pro. Excuse me. Beam.pro/Essence of Zen. Sundays. 3:30 Eastern time.
I need to check out what beam.io is. Looks kind of interesting now. That's the wrong website. Alright, I'll keep that tab open.
Early access.
I don't know what it is, but I'm signing up.
And it works with Slack? I don't know what it... An omnipresent...
Alright.
So yeah, more information about that later. But so talking about Tim Burton, and I want to go ahead and make this clear, okay? So Tim Burton is like 60 some odd years old, right?
Oh, that guy's old.
Yes, he really is. And this is the same guy who made James and the Giant Peach, I think. No, yeah, I can't remember. Just a lot of things in the past. But so again, he's 60 some odd years old. He is white. He grew up in a period where cultural diversity was not. I'm trying to make him look as least bad as possible, okay? But he's taking fire due to comments that he's made about what his views on diversity in things like movies have been falling down to. And he's made the comment, and I quote, "Nowadays, people are talking about it more." And this is about diversity. They didn't finish the quote. Where's the rest of the quote? Hold on. Hold on.
Holding.
He didn't. Oh, I hate when my articles don't give out the full quote. Hold on.
Just summarize. We won't hold you to it, Zane.
He basically goes on saying that blacks and Chinese and like other people of color aren't needed in movies because they're not what movies really need. He states if he makes a movie about white people, it should be about white people. No big deal. Get over it. And to an extent, I'll say this. You have the right to cast whoever you want for your movie for your own creative direction. Yes, you do. But when you make comments like him talking about in his past, when he was quote unquote forced to watch blaxploitation movies, yeah, dude. If you've had movies of centuries where there's nothing but white people in movies, and let's say something like Luke Cage that came out on Netflix, and I won't say every, because again, not every white person is a racist, not every, that whole genre of things. But there are massive amounts of people who are saying, why is Luke Cage, TV show or Netflix series predominantly black and of people of color? Why can't they add more white people to it? You get one show.
Let me stop you right there real quick. Is Luke Cage originally black? Because I just saw him being black. I was like, oh, is he? I think he's always black.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
People just don't like the fact that the cast for the series. So yeah, it focuses on Luke Cage, but nowadays you have this notion where even if you have a black main character, you have to have a bunch of white people for the cast. Like the supporting characters and the background characters. But for Luke Cage, it is predominantly black and and other ethnicities of color through the entire series. There are very little white people in the show, and people are like, "Why can't we have more white people?" And again, I don't mean to come off if you think I'm saying white people don't need to be in movies. I don't care, dude. I'm just. Alana says that Tim Burton was behind James and the Giant Peach. No, it wasn't. It was by Henry Selick. My bad, Henry Selick. Sorry. But yeah, so if you're gonna have this issue with one show having predominantly black people or predominantly people of color cast, but you don't have you have an issue with black people or people of color complaining about, for instance, the Bruce Lee movie focusing on a white kung fu fighter, not Bruce Lee, for the Bruce Lee movie.
Yeah, it's kind of important right there.
I'm like, well,
it's like making like Malcolm X like a white cast character.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know if that'll slide. The important thing is that he's supposed to be black.
Right. So my response to Tim Burton is, it's not a matter of fact. The issue isn't who you cast for your movies. The issue is the reasoning behind it and how you have made that public. The issue that you don't want to have too many people of color in your movie because you feel that they're not needed. That's the issue. If you just said, I wrote a story that involves these white people who are this ethnicity from this nationality from this location, and that's why the location is white, or for any other reason, like just because you want it to, that's fair. That's fair game. It's your creative property. I don't care. But when you start saying things like you don't want to see ethnicities in movies, or you don't think they're needed, or you don't think it's important, that's when you get people riled up, and that's where things just kind of hit the fan.
Yeah. Don't know too much about this Tim Burton guy, like his history and like his personality and all that. But I do agree, like I think on the statement on the article that's on there, something along the lines of like, you kind of also just don't want people of color in there just to have people of color, like just to have like a token black guy or a token Chinese guy kind of thing, like, because then like you're kind of just doing it for like fan service to like kind of keep them happy, like just throwing it in there, like, all right, here's your black guy, all right, here's your Mexican guy. But it's not really like, did you really just do that for like so people don't like riled it, or does it actually like add anything to like the plot or like the story,
right,
kind of thing?
So like for instance, and to give you more direction behind Tim Burton, I finally got the actual list, and I was close. It's not James and the Giant Peach. I was thinking of, it was The Nightmare Before Christmas. He was behind that. Corpse Bride, Frankenweenie, Sweeney Todd, yeah. Alice Through the Looking Glass, Alice in Wonderland, and in the most recent movie, Miss Peregrine or Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. So, and again, in all these other movies that I absolutely loved, I didn't have an issue with them not being having people of color or many people of color at all. I didn't, because I understood when you have Alice in Wonderland and it comes from this whole nationality of like Germanic and Dutch roots, it makes sense, and I'm not gonna complain about it. It's no big deal. But when people also made note that whenever Tim Burton does have a person of color in his movies, they're typically the bad guy, and that starts to add a certain tinge of color to it. I don't.
It's hard to tell. It
honestly.
Is,
man.
I think you'd have to look into like their childhood, how they grew up. It's like if it's like, what's the word I'm looking for? Mild racism. Like I can't see it. I need more.
Yeah.
More background.
So just to clarify, I don't think he's racist. I think he's just ignorant. And again, he's 68 years old. Grew up in a time period where that was the commonality. So again, I'm not calling him racist. I just think he probably said the wrong words and basically came out showing his ignorance, and that's literally it. He's not a bad guy. I'm not gonna try to justify his actions based upon what Samuel Jackson stated by it, because he made the comment saying he knew that Tim Burton does not have a particular interest in casting people of color, but he casted him for the villain for Mrs. Peregrine's Home of Peculiar Children. And he knows that Tim is a good guy. He's just old and in his ways. So I don't know. I don't want to come off as an apologist. I don't want to come off as attacking his character. I'm just want to say for this one particular instance, it's bad. And looking at his previous works, he could have just stated something far more intricate. And it's I don't
Yeah, it's hard to be 100% politically correct.
Yeah.
100% of the time. You know, people just go after you if you word things slightly different.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
For instance, like with Marvel, and I'm not trying to throw them on the bus here. When they make statements about them not going with an Asian character for the grand wizard for Doctor Strange, you know, they have the white woman, and they changed the master to a Celtic background. 'Cause they stated they want to be culturally sensitive and not have a stereotypical role for an Asian man to play. My thought about that is, okay, well, why didn't you just keep it with keep the change of having it be a Celtic background for the master, but make it an Asian person with the Celtic background?
It feels like the only, like, whichever way you play it, someone will call you out on something. It's like, oh, now of course the Asian guy is a smart guy in class. You know?
I don't know, man. I mean, and also in Ant-Man, they had the one Hispanic character who was, you know, speaking with a heavy accent, was quote unquote, you know, not that intelligent, was a criminal, was a thief, and instead of almost every sentence with "Yo, Holmes," like I'm not sure you want to say that Marvel is that culturally sensitive when you just released a movie that I don't know.
The middle ground. It's hard to do.
Yeah,
You'll always upset something.
Yeah, Alana says Tim Burton hasn't had a good movie since Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's only because he had very little to do with it. I hate the he's old excuse. I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm saying that's the reasoning behind it. It's not an excuse. It's the reason. You know, you can if you have someone who's 95 years old, grew up in a racial time, he's gonna be a racist, and it's gonna be because he's old. I'm not saying that's okay. I'm just saying don't expect him to change.
To throw him a bone, like, because the only black guy is Samuel L. Jackson, right, in that new movie.
Yeah.
And he's the evil guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Samuel L. Jackson hasn't really played a lot of roles either, where he's like God, like what's his name is
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. Thank you. Like he's like the Eight Bastards and the Eight something recently by Quentin Tarantino.
Oh,
like,
the damn it,
Infamous Seven. No, that's
Hateful-
the new one that came out. Hateful Eight. Thank you.
yeah, Hateful Eight.
Like he's not exactly like the best like moral citizen in that movie either. Pulp Fiction, like he's always like on the edge of morality. I feel like in most of his roles. What's the other one in Marvel? He's always playing
Nick
the guy with
Fury.
the eye patch. Nick Fury. Like I feel like he's always playing a character with like edgy morals to begin with. So like Samuel L. Jackson being a black guy, not a stretch for me. So that's me throwing him a bone.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know. My views on Tim Burton has soured. I'm not gonna just bastardize the guy, but at the same time, it's like if you ever have that one friend who's like of a different ethnicity as you, and you walk into like their house and like you hear their grandma or their uncle or aunt saying something bad about you for being less than that to you are, and you're just like, oh, okay. Well, I'm never gonna look at this person the same way ever again, but you know,
kind of taints the image a bit that you once had.
yeah. Also, Alana states that actors of color can't be too picky. I don't fault Samuel for taking what he can get, and I do agree with that as well. Like I say, it's a very complex, deep.
Lots of variables.
Yeah.
Lots of variables involved.
But you know, moving on with the idea of like complexity or complexity. I don't know where complexity came from. Our brains are very complex things, and we can train our brains to do fantastic things. But if you think things like Lumen or what's the other one?
I know what you're talking about. So is the L, that brain training service.
Yeah.
Luminosity.
Yeah, Luminosity.
Luminosity.
If you think those are helping train your brain to become smarter, you're only about a quarter, right?
Yeah, so like in the article they bring up stuff like, hey, if you like do exercise, not only do you have like stamina to last longer at the gym, but you could carry your shopping bags around easier. Like there's other benefits. You live slightly longer if you go to the gym. But people sometimes try to do that same comparison with brain games and services like Lumosity. Sometimes they claim that their games actually your brain stay young, and that it makes you smarter, and that your memory will improve, and like these bloated claims. Well, recently, oh, where is it? A new review of brain training games in psychological science and public interest, the most comprehensive one ever conducted, basically showed that it really doesn't hold up when you try to compare it to your brain. Your brain is just such a complex thing that really, like, in doing these little brain training games, the only thing you get better at is doing the brain training games. There's no other benefit, and you're just getting better at the games. Doesn't really make you smarter. Might improve your memory a little bit, but in the end all be all, they're just bloated claims. Just false advertising.
And see, this is a part of the aspect that I want more research to be based upon, because so the whole rumor / notion / myth about we only use 10% of our brains.
Yeah, I hate that. That and the other one that's like half your brain is like art, half your brain is science, which is like dupes. Like no, use both.
Yeah. But see, no,
those two rumors.
Here's the thing, though. When I hear 10% of the brain, a lot of people think like, oh, well, no, clearly you use 100% of your brain, but you don't use it 100% at the same time. And what I mean by this is, and this is how I've always perceived the 10% thing. You cannot dance and sing while calculating mathematical equations in your mind while also trying to remember a memory at the exact same time.
Well, not with that attitude.
I mean,
yeah, like
so
we're not too good at multitasking,
right? And I think that's what the 10% kind of mean. It's like if you try to use all parts of your brain at the same time, you can only utilize like 10% of the functionality of it, but you're using the entire brain. You just can't use every part to its full capacity at the same exact time. Whereas if you was using 100%, you'd be able to remember all your memories while also doing your taxes, while singing a song that you memorized by heart flawlessly, and remembering if you left the stove on at home.
It's like, no, that part is still working. It's just subconscious. Like, a part of your brain has to remember to breathe.
Well, see, but is that really your brain's memory, or is it the muscle memory of the actual sickness going through the arteries and the lungs? You know?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Getting too technical for me now.
And that's what I want the research to really go towards, because it's so complicated, man. Like
the brain. Oh, so interesting.
So
such
sexy.
A complex thing. We try to copy it with AI. Nature's such an amazing thing. They really beat us at everything.
But that is like the funniest thing to me in terms of philosophy. And we're gonna wrap this up really quick, guys. I know we're over time.
Yeah.
But the complexity of the human brain is so fascinating and so intricate, but it's also so like limited. We have so many neural capacitance for all these processes of thinking of like nodes and things, whereas computers can calculate the most complex mathematical arithmetic, like calculation within half a second. But computers is dumb as shit.
The great thing about computers, though, is if you tell it to do something, it'll do it.
Exactly. I just think back to Phil Hartley. Do you think computers are smart? Nah, computers are dumb as hell. They're just really efficient at what they do. Oh, I miss Hartley, man. He was amazing.
I unfortunately never got a chance to be his pupil. But, I heard both good and bad things about the guy. Kind of sad that I missed out on the experience.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, that's just the brain in general. Fascinating, sexy, powerful, strong, an independent organ that don't need no other organ. Kind of does, actually, but, yeah. But no, I think that kind of wraps it up for our podcast tonight. So anything you want to leave off on, Lewis?
I love you all. Thank you guys for staying tuned. You finally went past 500. And stay tuned, guys, for that Mafia 3 giveaway.
Exactly.
You guys have earned it. Well, one of you guys has earned it, but to be technical.
All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and sign off for the night. You know where to find us: essenceofzen.org for all your things Essence of Zen and our products, our podcasts, our art, our programs, everything. You can find us over at youtube.com/essenceofzen. You can also find us over at beam.pro/essenceofzen for our streams, like on Sunday, our Path of Exile, 3:30 Eastern Time. Be there or be square. But until then, I will see you all next week. And we have Homeworld Arts coming in with the last comment. My brain is sexy as hell. You heard it today here, folks. Homeworld Arts 2016, October 7th. Quote unquote, my brain is sexy as hell. I love it.
Screenshot it. Screenshot it.
You know what? Screenshotting it right now. See you all next week, everybody. 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Essence of Zen. After dark.
Dark.